Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. What it do? What it do? How you doing, buddy? Enjoy that music for about 5 minutes.
I think one of us, I will personally pay for music lessons so I can play a guitar or something so we can get something, that's a little longer than the 15-second repeat. But, the first minute of that, though, I was rocking, dude. I wish you could have recorded something. That would have been some pretty good content for the folks.
Yeah, and the intro timer is a work in progress. I will get it figured out. It was a nice little test run that we were going through. Already having the comments start to roll in. Good to see you again. Elevator's not worthy now. Welcome back with us. We've got a good show for you today. We've got a good friend of ours, one of our CBD Brothers partners. This man goes by Steve with a V, if you will. We like to call him here at Idiots on a Mic, Sexy Steve, not to be confused with Vegan Steve. There is a difference.
Right.
We've had Vegan Steve on before. We have the other half of what is now CBD Brothers USA in Sexy Steve. Let's go ahead and bring him on with us today.
Steve! Woo!
Steven, thank you, sir, for coming on and joining us.
What's happening?
Hey, we're glad we could have you on. We will at some point get the tandem Steves in effect. However, Vegan Steve had some prior obligations that he had to take care of. You stepped in with us today. We're glad to have you. What's going on in the world of Steve? And what were you chowing on earlier? Was that some pizza? Is that you had some pizza there?
Yeah, a little pizza, a little sub, a little Pepsi. Supposed to be Dr. Pepper, but they screwed up.
That's
sons
right. You
of
don't
bitches,
get a body like that being a vegan. That's all I gotta say.
That's right. So you don't get a nickname like Sexy Steve without eating the pizzas and the Dr. Peppers and the.
That's right.
Yeah, I was Vegan Steve for about, I don't know. I did it for like a year with the other Steve. Got down to about 225, 230. Might be embellishing a little, but Christmas came around and I got to 255.
So this phenomenon has taken place, notably called the COVID-19, where you gain 19 to 20 pounds during this pandemic, because what else do you have to do other than sit in your house that eat food? Luckily, that has started to fade away a little bit. We're getting the vaccine. We're opening up restaurants a little bit better. Well, I mean, in some cases,
No,
I guess
it's looking like the COVID 25, COVID 30, maybe at this point.
Well, here's the problem: is the alcohol consumption has not taken a dive, while the activities have also decreased. So, alcohol consumption still up here. Activity level plummeting rapidly in most cases. Weather's breaking, though. This is a good time of year to start getting active again. I'm excited. Rugby's kicking off again. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to be a part of it lately, or at all since the last season that I played. God, it feels like 2 years ago now. Almost. It's coming up on it, I think.
Last time any of us have played, really.
Yeah. I'm coming back in the fall, baby. I'll be there in the fall.
I'm still remembering Nick's slow motion run to come in third place.
Oh, it's slower now.
Overtime.
That's why I needed the break. It's slower now.
So my favorite memory of Rod when we played together is when we played Finley, and this poor soul didn't even have the ball in his hands. It just gets absolutely clapped by our boy here because he had just kicked it. And there's no slowing this body down when he gets going. And what does he do? He just absolutely obliterates the poor kid that didn't even have the ball anymore. The ref was like, yeah, you can't fucking do that, pal.
I was like, yeah, I get it. I fucked up. I just shouldered him, too. I didn't even tackle him. That was right.
Yeah,
I think I did it the same game. I clotheslined someone that same game. I didn't know.
Hey, if we don't win the game, we're going to win the fight. That's right. Oh man, no, it was, and I'll double down on this because when we had Steve on, when we had Vegan Steve on, that's how we determined the two of you. That's all I talked about was how much fun it was and how enjoyable it was. But so the first game we played, I played the second half of the game, and I'd never played. I mean, I played baseball. I got the baseball seams on my arms and everything. I've never played something so physical in my entire life. So I go out, I play the second half, and I do what I think is decent. And I didn't turn the ball over. That's like if I could walk away with anything, instead I didn't turn the ball over. And took a knee to the ear and everything. So we end up drinking afterwards, and the next day I cannot express how absolutely painful. I didn't leave the couch, and Rod, you can attest to this. I did not leave the couch in our apartment for the entire day.
The dog was laying on him and shit. Like he thought he was dead.
That apartment could have caught fire, and I would have just sat there. I would have just burned down with that son of a bitch. It didn't matter.
Yeah, I'm a little sore today. We had our first contact practice last night. We got a new guy who is a semi-pro running back, and I ended up having to hit him like 6 times last night. We kept ending up in the same line, and he gets parallel
naturally.
Yeah, it's just like, dude. I was texting him last night. I was like, his name's Ricky. I was like, Ricky, man, you're like hitting a Mack truck.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Ricky, if you could fucking not, please, that'd be fantastic.
I had to hit Elmo. A couple times too, but he's like kind of going.
Elmo ain't no small boy.
No.
Once.
He landed on me.
Yeah, it is certainly enjoyable, and which is pretty cool because so we've actually had a couple semi-pro guys. They played in the indoor football league. We've had them on the podcast before. So shout out to Mason and shout out to Devontae, which, by the way, Rod, I don't know if you caught, Devontae's got a new single now. He's making music. Our boy Devontae makes music over there on Spotify called How It Go. Another banger by the man, and fantastic that we can call him a friend. And I'm excited to see where this musical career goes because now every Friday I'm like, all right, he's not giving us the inside scoop of when new music's coming out. So every Friday on Spotify, I look for that release radar, see if he's got anything out. Just so happens this past Friday, he came out with his song, How It Go. I'm excited. Like I said, it's another good one. And where he is in terms of his musical talent is pretty unique. I mean, he's just got such a wide range. He does the whole rapping thing, but he can sing. You look at him and you're like, this guy, like, he's a football player through and through. You see him, he's this bigger guy, but he's got some golden pipes on him. That's for sure. So before we get into the show, let's talk a little bit about why we're all here right now. So we've been trying to help promote you guys with CBDBrothersUSA.com. Since our
seemed like day one.
just about.
Yeah.
I think we had Steve, we had Vegan Steve on for episode 15. We're on 39 now, so we've come a long way since we initially started that. And one thing we've set up with you guys is we're running that promotion code Idiots on Mic. Vegan Steve verified that this is still ongoing, so it's a 25% off and free shipping with code Idiots on Mic at CBDBrothersUSA.com. So go check it out. And actually, what we can do is, Steve, I don't know where you're at in your technological advances here. However, we're able to pull up what you guys have going on at CBDBrothersUSA.com. So you can go check it out. Very interactive. All these, I don't know where you guys took these photographs, but let me tell you, beautiful. Now I know this ain't your guys' hands and feet here.
Yeah, that ain't your Paul.
Yeah, that's so my wife took all those, which she's actually going to be taking over full time as like CEO, president, whatever she wants to call herself. She's already the CEO of the house, so.
Yeah.
But like she's going to be taking over that she'll be taking over that full time pretty soon, probably in the next month or so. Kind of wrapping up her her full-time job and starting to go into like farmer markets and things like that. But that that hand and foot picture, that's like some weird kinky shit that Steve has in his office that we borrowed, and we just kind of posed it and threw it on there, and it turned out good. I thought, like, I was like, that's actually pretty nice. And and we just went out and bought props, and it's like a bowl of mint and some apples, and next door there was like the strawberry lemonade one. We just took a picture at the at Scott's house, the podiatrist that Steve works with. So pretty my wife did a pretty good job, I think. So
absolutely. And as time progresses, maybe we'll get her on and explain how much of a boss she is apparently within the household and accepting some responsibilities over here at CBD Brothers USA. But
yep.
We hit on this every podcast. We talk about the beauty of these products. I take the tinctures and I have the salve personally, and what that does for me, in terms of whether it's tension headaches or if I get a little ache in my knee, I'll put that salve on, and it works wonders. It works wonders. And we talk about the beauty of products like this in comparison to just some over-the-counter anti-inflammatories. What you're going to experience with the anti-inflammatories, potentially long-term, kidney damage, liver damage, things like that. Whereas with these 100% hemp products, you're not getting those same effects. It's all natural. It's all, your body just wants to accept it, baby. This is what you guys are trying to do, is create a product that is much more beneficial to you than what those over-the-counter anti-inflammatories are going to do. And it's everything from just those anti-inflammatory effects to, like you see here, we've got the little lovely candle picture here with the nights, the melatonin capsules in there. If you have some trouble sleeping.
Got the shirt right here.
Yes.
Catch some catch a dream with Dr. Z. Designed that myself.
Yes, beautifully done. And so we'll talk about that here in a second too. Some of the shirts that we have to offer. Maybe we'll have to collaborate our stores so that we can sell some of your guys' stuff as well.
Yeah.
And get
it's the only one we sold, and it was me.
Yeah.
So. And it's actually my wife's. I'm stretching it out for her.
Yeah. That's a nightgown now, right?
Right.
But everything from the tinctures, which is just the little oil droplets in your mouth, that's going to help not only help with mood to a degree, it's also going to help with the anti-inflammatories, the melatonin. If you have trouble sleeping, go ahead and take some of the CBD capsules with melatonin. That's going to, help you with those effects, getting to sleep properly and have a deeper sleep, a better sleep. And then my personal favorite is the old veterinarian, the CBD product tinctures, the pet tinctures. I don't know about you, but I got this rambunctious little a-hole that lives with me, and little calm down.
He's been shooting him a trank dart to this thing.
Yeah, I just fill him up, and I just, from across the room, I just send one right into his ass, and then next thing you know, he's calm. And it's a beautiful product that we got going on here. Folks, I just want you to know that is not actually the case. Pete is probably watching us now like, hold on, rewind that? What was the last thing he just said there? They're going to, the whole cancel culture thing is going to be starting here on Idiots on a Mic. That is not the case. That's not the case.
And two, with this too, and if a lot of our listeners are like me and they like, for example, the COVID vaccine and stuff, I want science behind stuff. If you look at the science behind CBD products, there are studies that have shown, and I've said this before on the podcast, that, people who are on your chronic pain meds and stuff like that once they started getting CBD, they actually saw a significant increase in people switching to CBD versus their chronic pain meds. And that's so much better for your body than actually, taking these medications that have some pretty detrimental side effects. And so one of my questions for Steve here is, what's one of your favorite products? Like what would you recommend to people? What do you think is one of the more underrated products? Tell us about your world, man.
I mean, I tell you, like, right now the strawberry lemonade gummies we can't keep on the shelf. So I mean, part of that the reason why I mentioned the gummies because we are looking at starting our own manufacturing of our own gummies, like making those in house, instead of like having like our supplier manufacture them. Those and like bath bombs and stuff like that. But like I think the underrated one is probably that sports trainer, like the team trainer sports cream that we have. And it's got the menthol in it. And I swear, like you can put it on and it works for hours and like your muscles are pretty much like loose. And I wish I had some because man, I tweaked my groin the other day in practice and I'm walking around the house. Looks like I'm holding my sack, but my wife's like, you're scaring the kids. I'm like, I'm sorry.
You just got to keep it all in, you know. You just got to hold it there and just
So, I mean, honestly, like that. I mean, all the products are good. Some are better than the others. That's kind of like what you just got to experiment what works with you and the different strengths. And the biggest thing is I know I can attest to like being in the military and being a medic. I don't want to call myself a medic. We'll say we're hospital corpsmen because Nick was too. So we're kind of brothers in that sense as well. But I was a pharmacy tech and I can attest that like those when we were working in the clinics and the retirees were coming home, man, we were just handing out the Vicodin, the Darvocet, OxyContin. I mean, we're just filling prescription after prescription after prescription, and it's just that's what we were doing, you know. And it's like it's crazy. Like now you have this natural way of treating it, and I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but like I mean, honestly, the pharmaceutical business is the ones that kind of hold that stuff back because they know it works. It's not awful for them, so they're not gonna help promote it. And obviously, they control like the FDA and you got the lobbyists and stuff out there like that. But I don't know. It's a good product. So, and we're just gonna keep moving forward. We're actually talking about expanding the line into like shampoos and like a kind of like the beauty type products. Like we're gonna have some wrinkle creams and some like body lotion stuff like that. See how we're doing that. We got to kind of like test out some products, get some samples. But here in the near future, hopefully we can come up with some cool names like we have now and start expand to like Amazon and stuff like that. So
now. Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead, bud.
Okay. Now, if
Junior,
if our listeners here, if they want to contact you, they have questions or they want to purchase your product, where can they do that?
Yeah, I mean, you can email us at CBD at CBDBrothersUSA.com. You can call us at 614-612-0420. See what we did there, and but yeah, I mean that comes directly to my cell phone. We have that like some GoDaddy smart line feature that comes to me. Eventually, I'll switch it over to my mom, or to my wife. Freudian slip there. But
who's calling me?
Yeah. Pick up the phone. But yeah, eventually switch it over to her so she can start taking that stuff on and provide better customer service and things like that. And we did actually have an order from Oklahoma come in this past week. I don't know how they got the information. I did have to call the lady because we were out of the product, and I should have had my, like, I guess, customer service hat on. Like, how did you hear of us? But I wasn't thinking. I was just like, hey, we got an order.
Punch that shit in quick.
Yeah. Before they change their mind.
No, and that's one thing we like to preach on the show too, is how approachable you guys are, and the information that you guys are capable of giving is fantastic. And knowing you guys personally, it's one of those cool things that we're able to divulge that information. Reach out to these guys. They're going to give you the best information. They're going to give you one of the best products on the market. And not only that, the fact that you guys are running like 25% off and free shipping on products is, you're not seeing that with these other CBD companies. It's something that you guys have a leg up on. And, I know for me personally, who's bought some products, I know family members who have bought some products. We certainly appreciate that because just the nature of the product is it can be sometimes pricey. And you guys, even now being able to, looking into trying to produce that stuff yourselves and saving some costs there to make it more cost effective, yet still high quality product is the whole reason we're trying to back you guys in the first place.
Yep. And I think reason why we're kind of looking to the gummy machine was bought for other edible type reasons for not me if my real job's watching, but no, I mean, honestly, we think we can make probably a better quality product, have more flavors, make some fun molds. We can know what's going into it. We'll still use the same CBD tinctures that we purchased from our manufacturer now, and then we'll blend that into it. But yeah, it should be more cost effective to us. But we'll know that there's nothing else in there that because when you start getting into like the process type stuff, you just never know, So it's like, I'm not saying that what we have now isn't good. It's vegan. It's like whole products and whole ingredients and things like that. But we can go with like the no sugar and we can go with the calorie free like monk fruit and stuff like that and natural flavors and just throw in like real fruit flavors and things like that. So gluten-free flour to make the gummies, and we can just make it better to take for everybody. So we got some testing to do with that before we put something out, but so that gets us into the farmer markets because we have to have a homemade product. They won't let us resell, which I don't get because the lady literally told me on the phone, "Oh yeah, that's what the coffee guys do. They buy in bulk and just repackage it." I was like, "Well, that's what resale is." Like, I don't understand.
So moving forward, if you need guinea pigs or test dummies, Rod and I have put probably far worse things into our bodies to where we would not mind being those kinds of people.
Well, of course, I'm sure we'll do like a mixture. Like here's a placebo with real THC versus no THC. See how you guys feel. Which one did I get today?
And to point that out, so that's the big thing that we like to hammer home as well is people associate CBD with THC. They think they're just kind of one and the same. And that is, in fact, not the case, where you guys have a THC-free product. Now, there are other states where THC is legal. They do incorporate that into their CBD products. However, I mean, maybe that's something that takes place further down the road. That's something you guys as a company will have to figure out once THC does become legal in Ohio, which I can't imagine it won't. I'm sure that's got to be coming through the works at some point here within the next year or two. Just because
is that something you guys would? Is that an avenue you guys would look to go down if it does in fact become legal for Ohio?
I mean, we've talked about it. I would want to. I mean, I don't know how saturated the market would get like right away because everybody and their mother is going to try to get that like license to be able to do it. So hopefully, being an established company and having Steve as a nurse, and then we also have Dr. Batolo, Scott, like that's kind of involved in it, and then just with my business background and my medical background, hopefully that would help with pushing something like that through. But you never know. I would never say never. I mean, I would like to do it because, I mean, I know everybody likes to drink beer and stuff like that, but I wholeheartedly believe like marijuana is better for you than alcohol and things like that. It's just it really is. It's almost like that ancient forgotten medication that like should be on Ancient Aliens. So
I've always thought that smoking is it's just the smoking form of beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and nowadays you don't even have to smoke it. I mean, there's so many different ways to take it. So just like with the same thing. Like I just found out you could smoke CBD. So I mean, you can get loose like bud hemp that you can smoke. Apparently, it hits your bloodstream better too. So something else we're looking into. So,
well, we're certainly looking forward to it, and like I said,
Absolutely.
we're 100% behind you guys with wherever your business model takes you. So
yeah. Well, and first and foremost,
the wise fans at home. So this is actually my mother.
No.
Go ahead, take some brownies.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, we're always going to put the customers first, and we're never going to produce a product or purchase a product. And I mean, Steve knows a lot more about it than I do because he's like a connoisseur of everything CBD and the other stuff. So, but
we call those vitamins.
Yeah.
Vitamin M. But yeah, I mean, I did a lot of research on the companies that, and I narrowed it down to like a few different ones. And like, they're literally like the ones we have manufacture for us. They're the top CBD companies in the world right now anyway. So pay a little extra on our wholesale side, so we lose a little bit of profitability on it, but I'd still rather sell something I know that's going to work and then sell something just to make money. I mean, we haven't taken a dime, but we're putting everything we make and every sale right back into the company to try to grow it. So,
and that just reemphasizes what I've been saying about you guys and your company all along, is you guys genuinely care about getting this out to the people and about making life better in terms of pain, in terms of, not being able to sleep, stuff like that. You just want to get the word out there as well. So, hey, keep doing what you guys are doing. It's awesome.
Yep.
All right, let's quit stroking egos here for a little bit. Let's go ahead. I'm going to make this. Hey, you stay on long enough, we'll see what happens.
Hey.
You never know. I'm going to make this real quick and simple for you.
We were in the Navy. So.
I'm going to make this real quick and simple. Go to our Bonfire store, buy some shit. We got cool t-shirts. We got hats. We got, what else do we got? We got masks. We got the rod bod. You're so proud of this, bud. Let's go ahead. Let's look at the rod bod. Let's look at the rod bod t-shirt here. So this is the rod bod built by beer, baby. That's what we do. You check out the backside of it. Hey, that's not just your average daddy. This you take a lot of pride in this t-shirt.
I love that t-shirt.
You take a tremendous amount of pride in this t-shirt. But as we're not necessarily a company, but as a podcast, we like to show support for military. We have our Idiots Against Cancer shirts. All the proceeds for Idiots Against Cancer go directly to the American Cancer Society. So we actually don't make a penny off those whatsoever. All those proceeds are going to go directly to them. And hopefully we'll be able to host, an event or two this summer for you guys, whether it's our marathon episode where we we'll try to raise money for our marathon episode, or whatever the case may be.
24-hour episode. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool. Raise money.
That is a check. I don't know either of us is going to be able to cash, but go ahead.
We could do it.
Maybe we'll get somebody to sponsor us in particular. I don't know. Maybe but let's get into it.
Drink in that time.
So I forgot to mention this to you, Steve. We usually have a couple alcoholic beverages during our show. At the end of our show, we always like to do a cheers to not only our guests but to the people as well who listen. But let's dive right into it. It makes the conversation a lot better, believe me, because me sober is a real awkward turtle situation, and that's not what we're about. So,
all in all, I'm the talent, so I mean, just
you can fuck right off. Let's go ahead and talk about the fact that so I don't know if either of you have caught this. The internet has kind of been stirring a little bit. There's a potential for a Mrs. Doubtfire remake in the sense that they used to do like 3 to 5 scripted takes for Robin Williams while they were producing Mrs. Doubtfire, Rod's typing into his keys right now, Mrs. Doubtfire, because he's never seen the movie, like the piece of shit that
Never.
he is. And
It'll get canceled. It'll get canceled for the trans community will cancel it. So
and
just saying,
there's serious potential. I mean, that's where we're at in this stage now. However, so they would do 3 to 5 takes scripted, and then they would just let Robin Williams do his thing. He was such an off-the-cuff character, such an off-the-cuff guy. And I'm reading his biography now, and that's all you experience. Everybody that talks about him it was almost harder for him to turn it off and try to do what the script was asking than, actually just do what the script was right in front of him. So they have probably 10 to 15 takes per scene of him just being him in every situation, to where there may be an R-rated remake of the movie Mrs. Doubtfire. Rod, are you watching clips? Are you seeing pictures? Explain to us so you haven't seen the movie, but I'm assuming you're taking a look at a couple different posters and things. Are you reading the synopsis of what Mrs. Doubtfire is about, and what would your take be on this situation?
No, hey, I'm all for it. If we can get more Robin Williams, I want it. That's it. I don't have to see the movie to want that, and I'm gonna have to watch it because it's got Robin Williams in it. Why wouldn't I?
And this is a fantastic. It was a great movie in itself. I mean, this was back in the time where you can make those innuendos, you can make those kind of raunchier jokes, and still get away with it, to where it would still be a PG-13 kind of movie. Obviously, now where we're at in the stage, it's like filmmakers, you get to say fuck one time, otherwise it's a rated R movie. That's what you get. That's what you get, and that's what you like it. You like it, you deal with it, and you move on from it. So I echo the same sentiment as you. I think having as much Robin Williams as you possibly can. And now that we're in a day and age where remakes are such a huge thing, why not give us a remake of a character? Now, if you've seen Robin Williams stand up, I know he's done a lot of family-friendly movies, but if you watch his stand-up, that's not who he really is at all. Like he is a very raunchy person, a very raunchy personality, and he is a whole different character than the movies that he's portrayed. So I would be thrilled for this. I hope this takes place. But Steve, to your credit, is it really going to get past all of the decision makers, and is it going to be something that they can get away with? Probably not. Not today.
Well, I mean, they are. I think they're redoing it on Broadway. I read that, so it is going to be a Broadway show. And I thought they were going to redo it. There was something about who's a little short black guy. Can't think of his name. The
Kevin
Rock's
Hart.
always picking on Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart,
talking
yes.
about him taking that role, but it ended up being some other guy doing it. But that'd be great. But it's almost like Medea. It's almost like Medea spun off of that. Honestly, like.
And it really is kind of the same character in that sense. Now, Tyler Perry playing Medea, and that's been an ongoing thing. So maybe we are in a situation where it would still be accepted as a film, just because it has paved the way for other characters. And Medea, a fairly large character in itself, and what they've created with that character. They've made multiple movies based on that. And I think it really depends on how they brand it as well. If they decide to go the actual cinematic route, if they define it as a remake, all right, this movie's already been made. There's already been this has already been filmed for it. We're just replacing it with the original, to where maybe they get away with it in that sense, as opposed to, I would think them completely remaking it would be a worse situation in that case.
Yeah. I don't know. The Snyder cut of Justice League was a lot better than the first one. A lot longer.
Thank you.
I haven't finished it yet. Do not ruin it for me. I'll take off my headset right now.
I won't ruin it. I'm just saying it's better. And it's long.
It's
started to watch it with the wife, fiance, and I was like, she wasn't having it after the first hour and a half. So I had to stop it there. She goes,
Yeah.
"This is how long?
Everybody went to
4
bed on
hours?
me.
Oh, I ain't doing it." Yeah.
I watched
looked
it
around,
myself.
everybody was gone. I was like, what the
Yeah. But here's the thing is they advertised it as a 4-hour movie. So if you know you're in for the long haul, grab some popcorn, grab a couple beverages, and have a seat because you're in it. Now they break it up into episodes or
parts.
like parts. So if you really wanted to break it down that way, you could, which I found very nice because they break it down into parts where there's large cut scenes to where it's a whole different scene after that part. So you could do it that way. However, I tell you what I did. I watched it first thing in the morning before I went to work as much as I could, maybe a half hour or so. And then when I came back, I put my stationary bike in my living room, sat down on that bitch and just nice slow pedal, watched the rest of that movie. Made a little thing out of it, you know?
Listen, Steve.
That's why you're not fat, and I am. Because I sat there and ate 2 bags of popcorn.
Matthew here's what we call
Not
a cardio
one,
bunny.
Yeah. I do dabble in the cardiovascular exercises, yes.
Yeah, I got the treadmill, and I just bought a rowing machine. I did about 27 miles between the two last week, and then rugby kind of started, and I haven't been able to move for the past few days. So it takes me like 2-3 days to recover, and then to do this again.
That contact will keep you down.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So I touched on this towards the beginning of the show. The first game I played when I got kneed in the ear, we go home and we're discussing the game, and it turns out it was actually Rod himself that kneed me in the ear. He's talking about he's all proud of himself rucking over me, and it was in fact him that slipped and fell and blasted me right in the side of the head while I was laying down. So thank you for that, bud. My ear's been ringing ever since.
Listen, I saved your life later on that season when I didn't give you the ball when your knee was hurt, right?
Yeah, I could see him physically make the decision to not give me the ball. He was like, oh, yeah, he just busted his knee last game, and then he just kind of like tucks it back in and takes the old hit. And you know what? Hey, I appreciate you, bud.
My that first game, my knee was purple from like all the way down to my ankles. I tried to tackle. I think I tried to make a tackle, and I slammed my knee on that friggin' hard ass field. And it was like middle of September. Like that's why I had the old man knee pads on for the rest of the year. I didn't care. I didn't care. They were black and orange, and they straight up looked like old man knee pads. I wasn't even 40 yet then. I was like, nope.
So watching Steve's pregame ritual was a sight for everyone, between putting on all of the various pads, because you had the padded shirt as well, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I got that now. Don't make fun of that now. I got that shit now. It helps.
Well, here's the beauty of
I'm not ashamed.
Here's the beauty of the wing position. And here's why I tell you guys, if you can be fast, do it, because the guy I'm going against is typically smaller than me. And he just happens to be their fast guy. So the contact that I'm going to get hit with is not the 300-pound ex-lineman in college who is just ready to take beatings throughout the entire game.
Listen, once you hit over 200 pounds, you don't play wing no more.
Dude, they got Kenny playing wing right now. He's 270. 270. So that's where we're at in our team right now, just so you know. But we got a 270-pound wing. But with our
sounds like Matty Ice has got to come back to her.
Well, with the pods we run, it's all good because like I get to play on the outside too. So that was my whole motivation of losing weight, because I didn't want to be second row anymore. I'm like, man, these guys are too big. I was 260, 265 at the time, and I was small. I was the smallest guy in the second, like, and in the friggin' pack, because like you got like Huff, that's 305. I think Zach, he's like weighing in at like 365 right now, 340. Who knows? I mean, at that weight, 10, 50 pounds doesn't matter anymore. So, like, and Elmo said he was down to 320. So you know how that is.
You know you're a big boy when you say, you know what, I got down to 320.
I got down to 320. Yeah. If I put that on my back, it would crush my spine, probably.
I could probably still squat that, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's all good. Hopefully, it'll be good this year. At least I don't got to tackle him.
So let's double back to our Mrs. Doubtfire conversation. Is there a movie that you would have preferred to see as a rated R movie, something that had a little more grit to it, something that had a little more violence, maybe a little more vulgarity to it? HBO is a fantastic.
I love it.
HBO Max. I'm all for it. By the way, started watching Godzilla vs. King Kong. I'm not gonna spoil anything there.
That's after this. I got the surround sound lights. I got
you dog.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that going into it. I would have waited to watch it
at your place.
Maybe we'll have to set up a watch along. Rod, you and I have to set up a watch along one time to get a movie going in the background and just commentate on it the entire time. But so far, I got about a half hour left. I'm finishing it up after this as well while I'm eating whatever Uber Eats dinner that I get. I'm in a nice little hotel here in Omaha, Nebraska. So
you couldn't have picked a more boring location.
Live from Omaha, Nebraska. Let's check in. What's going on in Omaha, Nebraska? There's
Nothing.
Tumbleweeds going by. Let's move along.
Yeah, corn and steak.
That's right. Hey,
and maybe some
Omaha
bacon.
Steaks, though. Yeah, and Omaha Steaks, though. There's a little station there at the airport. I think you can get it delivered to your house. I don't know. I might stop by, see what it's all about.
Might as well.
By the way, Steve, you made me really have a hankering for some pizza. So the wife's going to pick up some pizza on the way home.
Nice.
But for me, I think if the Marvel movies were rated R, that would have been phenomenal, because I think that's the key element that they're missing, whereas DC's kind of exploring that a little bit. They're right on the edge of what it is now. The Zack Snyder cut was rated R. Yeah. Deadpool rated R. However, Fox had control over that initially. Yeah. Now it's being accepted under Marvel.
Guardians of the Galaxy probably would have been the best.
Oh, for sure.
With friggin' Rocket.
With Chris Pratt.
Scenes with Gamora. That'd be...
Ooh,
that's a good one. That would be a fantastic one.
You guys are too young for Little Monsters. That was one I was thinking about with
was that in color?
The Savage Boys. Might have been like 90, 89 suckers.
Yeah, I think Harry Potter as a rated R. Seth, thanks for chiming in. That would be fantastic, because like you said, it's a GOT kind of style theme with Harry Potter and what they're capable of doing in the realm that Harry Potter is within. So I just imagine just like a Dementor's just fucking eating away at Harry, and then he gets pulled away, and he's just like, fuck, that hurt, man. Jeez.
And then he gets drunk like he did in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Daniel Radcliffe, by the way, on a whirlwind of it's just his whole career kind of deal is way up and down. Yeah. You look at all those childhood stars, though. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, yep. That's what happened to me. Star of my own mind.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I don't know about you boys, but I think if Twilight was rated R, that whole series. I don't know.
It might have been a little better than Edward. Oh no, Edward.
I'm not gonna lie, I read the books. I was interested to see why the hell my wife read it like 17 times. And
yeah.
It's just like, and I got sex every time she read it. So it's like, hey.
Yeah. Well, have her read 50 Shades of Grey. Let me tell you, that worked.
Yeah, you can't read that. That's terrible. I tried to read that. It was terrible.
That's so bad.
But I was the only dude in the theater when the movie came out. Literally, yep. We were at the AMC in Dublin, and I'm like, I look around, and they're like delivering food. I looked at the guy. I was like, help me. And I was just like,
there you go.
In that place.
So those weren't rated R films, though, were they?
Oh yeah, they were.
Were they really?
Yeah, you saw everything.
Oh yeah, I guess you did.
There was nothing left to desire for Don Johnson's daughter. So
Rod, is there a particular? Are you along the lines of Marvel? I think Guardians of the Galaxy would have been a fantastic one, just with Chris Pratt, who he is as a person and as an actor. Even imagine Drax just in there dropping F-bombs, like not even knowing what it means, just sending off F-bombs. Yep. Fantastic.
Rocket would have been great having.
Absolutely. No filter on Rocket.
And Yondu.
Yeah.
I'm fucking Mary Poppins, y'all.
Translating for Groot.
Yeah.
I'm Groot. Go fuck yourself.
Actually, yeah. And then to be able to tie that in with Thor when they meet in Infinity War and all that stuff would have been great as well. The whole Marvel franchise, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark would have been fantastic. Just the narcissistic personality that he has, he would have been sprinkled in there left and right.
Oh yeah.
And I think it would have added an element. I think they did very well with a Disney production with the violence to a degree. But could you just imagine that one step further? How often do they actually even show blood in Disney movies? If you could show a little blood, like Mortal Kombat, they're talking about how much they use, like 86 gallons of fake blood or something like that for this Mortal Kombat movie that's coming up. I'm excited for that. This is what the franchise needed.
Did you guys watch The Boys at all?
Yo, absolutely.
Amazon.
Absolutely.
Yes. I haven't watched all second season yet, but it's
good.
That little guy running in, he's like, I won't get into detail.
It's everything you didn't know you wanted.
Right?
Yes. And that's the beauty. They came out with a movie called Brightburn a few years back now. They have explored the darker side of superheroes, and Rod and I have been preaching this basically ever since we started this show. I think that's what the world needs right now. Not because it's certainly not a feel-good movie by any means, but in reality, if someone were to have capabilities like that, let's be honest, that's what it's going to be like. Is it's a much darker version of the Superman, like always good guy. Now you may get that with some upstanding citizens, but like Homelander and what he's capable of doing, he's basically Superman. I mean, you can chalk him up to being Superman. How corrupted you can be with those capabilities, I think that's what we would see in real life.
Speaking of Homelander, awesome show on HBO Max you can watch right now called Banshee. It's the guy that plays Homelander. Watch that.
I've heard. So he basically he poses as a police officer or something, right, or a detective, but he's not.
And it's like the town of Banshee, Pennsylvania. It's got the chick that plays in the Resident Evil movies. I can't remember the Russian name. So but it's really good, and like it's like there's like the Amish Mafia, and it's an awesome show. So
Amish Mafia seems like an oxymoron, doesn't it? The Amish Mafia.
Yep.
Or using bow and arrows and shit.
That's a real thing, I think. There's a Discovery Channel show for
there's
that.
a show, yeah. There's actually a show on Discovery about it now. Yeah.
They'll fuck you up like
Southern Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky. I legit think that's a thing.
Where the banjos play. Ding 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 ding.
Yeah. And you're fucked.
That's the last thing you hear before you're dead.
They might
think about how dark, not Endgame. Endgame you can watch over and over again, but think about how dark Infinity War already is. Imagine making that rated R. Like Infinity War is not like when I turn on a Marvel big movie, like an Avengers movie, I don't turn on Infinity War, I turn on Endgame. You know what I mean? Imagine how dark Infinity War could be with the rated R.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially everything that takes place, even that last 10 minutes where everybody's just disappearing. What they could have done with that if they did have a rated R. Now, I think
even
Disney
the opening scene.
I think, because that's when Loki
dies.
Thor and Loki are getting their asses kicked. Yep. Loki dies. Yep, there's a lot that takes place. Even throughout the. If they just like absolutely decapitated Loki instead of the little neck snap thing that he does, which seems to be Thanos' MO. Like if that was actually what was going to take place, you would think he would have just removed his head from his body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seems to be, especially because he had that double blade sword deal that he had going on in Endgame, which they didn't really do much with that in Infinity War. It was just kind of like, yeah, he just beats the shit out of everybody with the stones and call it a day, you know? Or that scene where they're on Titan.
Yeah.
Where he throws the moon at at Iron Man, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Drops an entire planet on him. There's much to be desired if Disney went that route. And let's see what they do, because now that they have Deadpool in their back pocket, maybe this is something that they explore going forward, because you know what? If they don't make Deadpool 3 rated R, they might as well just be done with it.
I'm telling you, put it as a category on Disney Plus, Dark Disney, or Disney After Night. You know what I mean? Like, or After Dark. That's all I'm saying. You know?
I mean, that's very dangerous.
Very Skinamax vibe.
I know, yeah. Disney After Dark. There's a there's gonna be all of this princess lore on there. I don't know about all that, man. That's a rabbit hole in itself, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. There was I did see a TikTok this morning that there was this I don't know, this DC show where this, I don't know who the heck the guy was there fighting. The Justice League was trying to fight him, and they just grabbed Flash's head. He like grabbed it and he smashed it, and his eyeballs popped out and all kinds of shit. I was like, that's fucking awesome.
I need to watch that one. Yeah.
And he ripped, I think he ripped like Wonder Woman's arm off or some shit like that. Like it was crazy. But
so there is one called the Flashpoint Paradox, where Flash goes back in time, saves his mom, and then it completely rewrites what the present day would look like. So when he goes back, the Atlanteans and the Amazonians are fighting each other. There's this whole big battle that takes place there, and that's basically the whole world is encompassed in this battle. That's a fairly gruesome one, which when they get into like the cartoons and the comics, they just go for it. I mean, that's something that they make no mistake about it. They're gonna just do whatever they want when it comes to those kinds. But when it's the live action stuff, for whatever reason, they pull back on it. And I don't really understand that. I don't understand that, because that stuff's already out there in cartoon version, and people are consuming that already. So why not do the live action version of it?
Yeah, then they wouldn't be able to sell all the toys in the store to draw more kids in to see the stuff. So it's probably where they got to keep it a little bit PC. So
it's it's a cash cow for them. When it comes to production studios, it's just, how can we make this? Now, directors and stuff, they're focused on one thing. They get their parameters and they go for it. They make their movie. But from the production company as a whole, when they generate those parameters, all they're thinking about, like you said, is what does the back end of this look like? What do toy sales, T-shirt sales, and everything like that look like? Which is kind of, let's get some indie film company come in here, make us a DC movie, and I bet you we get exactly what we want.
Yep.
Exactly what we want. All right, let's shy away from this topic a little bit. I've got a couple questions that I want to ask you guys. So Rod, I don't know what you're looking. You don't even know what the questions are, so don't even give me that. So my first question for you, Steve, we've asked everybody on this show, okay? Every single person we've had as a guest on this show, we've asked them at one point or another, do you believe in aliens?
Oh, yeah.
You have to, right?
Oh, yeah, Steve! Yeah!
Did you not see my my shirt that I made? My alien friggin'
That's
CBD
right.
shirt?
That's right.
Believe? Like,
so
no, seriously, we've been binging Ancient Aliens. We talk about it probably once or twice a day.
That's some weird shit, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you bring that up. We do have So as this is one of our original T-shirts actually, and I do own one of
Listen,
these.
if aliens don't exist, that just proves that we're in a simulation. That's all I'm saying.
So we do have the Coming to a City Near You Aliens T-shirt. I own one of these. They're actually very comfortable, by the way. The premium blends here. This has to be, and now they're coming out with all this information that who is it? The government themselves have to come out and divulge all this information. Granted, there's a lot of redacted information yet that aliens are real. Here's what we know. Here's these sightings. Here's this. We have alien ships. We have all this stuff. We just saw a little alien scamper around in the background there in your home. We see a little white blur just zipping by, probably an alien. We don't know. But it's this phenomenon, I think, that has taken over the globe. Like you said, you watch Ancient Aliens. This conversation has been going on for years now, years and years and years, decades. Aliens are real. They're among us. Do you think that they are like humanoids? They're like you and I, or?
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, they've been coming out. Like, I don't know if you saw the Prime Minister of Canada came out and had an interview talking about like how the U.S. government has there's 2 or 3 different races of aliens that already penetrated our government. So yeah, man. There's like those like big blonde hair, which obviously I'm not one of them, like long blonde hair guys. But and then I got the reptiles, reptilians, and then like the little grays and all that crap.
Yeah,
I mean, I believe where there's smoke, there's fire. Like, there's got to be something.
I had a buddy.
So much shit out there. You just never. It's almost impossible not to. They said it's more than likely that there is and there isn't. So that was from that Tyson, that physicist,
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Tyson Neil deGrasse. Yeah. So,
Rod, you had a buddy. You had a buddy. You have friends, but
I have a buddy of mine who I was talking about aliens one time, and he's a pretty smart guy, funny as shit. But anyhow, he was like, think about it. If there are aliens and they're able to get here, it wasn't him, by the way. There's not enough computing power in here to come up with this idea. He's like, but if there's aliens and they've reached us, obviously they're a higher advanced society, right? Highly advanced civilization. He goes, don't you think they would have evolved to the point where they're not actually eating food to where actually they can use photosynthesis as a source of energy? And I was like, you know what? That's a good point.
Yeah.
That might be why we think they're green.
Superman.
Hey, that's a good point.
But
talk about it right there.
I mean, for people to sit there and say that there isn't, and then our monkey asses are on Mars right now, flying helicopters. Like, come on, like, dude, like, think about how much technology has progressed since, like, in the past 100 years. We literally went from friggin' horse and carriage to friggin' Elon Musk's self-driving cars in 100 years. It's friggin' nuts. Like,
well, hell,
and
think about the last 20.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, I remember we were just talking about that. Like, I bought a damn computer when I first went in the military in like 2002. From this company called like 3 Foot, and I was stationed in Meridian, Mississippi. The damn computer caught on fire. I paid like $2,500 for it. I think it had like 500 megabyte hard drive on it. Now my
had a fucking bird in there that was chiseling the fucking the shit.
I opened it up. I had like rubber bands and shit in there. Like, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I sold it to one of our SARS guys, like the search and rescue swimmers, and ended up catching on fire. Yeah. I think he was on like the original Pornhub or something. But when you can only look at pictures, there was no video. But
yeah, there was a lot of books on that site.
Dude, that was 2002, man. Like, come on. We shaved by
then. We shaved by then. All right.
Escaping wasn't a thing yet, but
let me lead this whole Spectral segment into my first question for you guys. What if the only reason you can't walk through a mirror is because your reflection is stopping you? Is that a legitimate theory? Is there a mirror realm that we don't know about? Now, I mean, if aliens are real, why are Rod, you're making this twisted face like, yeah, that's bullshit. But you think aliens are real? You don't think there's a mirror realm somewhere?
Well, yeah, because mirrors are, human made. I don't. No, get out of here with that nonsense. Now, do I think there's multiple like universes? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a universe out there where I'm a billionaire, but somehow I got stuck in this one.
Wait, no, right. let's take a pause for a second, okay? Because if there's a luckier motherfucker in the world, I've never met him. This guy right here.
Well, not in this world, but in the next one.
Shit's gold bricks, and he's got this horseshoe. So I don't know if you know, this is actually a serious thing. Rod, when he poops, his turds are cut in half because it has to go past the horseshoe. Cram so far up his cheeks that it's just that's the way it works, man. I have to carry him around like a suitcase when he's drunk and he can't walk. I just reach in and I grab that horseshoe and we carry him out to the car, throw him in there, and then get him home safely. But I don't want to hear this bullshit luck thing that you're spouting off there, Rod. That's nonsense. And you know about.
That's all I'm saying.
But so why? So let me ask you this. Let me double down on this. So you think there's multiple realms, but you don't think one of them can be a mirror dimension?
Oh yeah, I don't think mirrors. You break a mirror, 7 years bad luck. No, get the fuck out of here. All right, I've broken several mirrors. And I have some pretty good luck. So get the fuck out of here with that. Second of all, I think there's different. There's different universes. There's different things because I think there's different volumes of the simulation that we're in.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't just run one simulation. You run hundreds of thousands. So.
But if we're in a simulation, why the hell did I get stuck with this life? What the hell? Why am I not like a damn billionaire? Like reprogram that shit. Like what?
Right.
So I don't know if you guys have ever seen the meme where it's like, if we are in a simulation, who spent so much time making my ass so hairy?
Right? The fuck.
Like, where did they decide to put details in certain areas?
That's a good segue for the whole mirror question, because if there's another dimension and there's some other me sitting there bouncing around in the mirror looking at that weird spot, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, lifting my sack up, hey, what's going on, guys? I don't understand.
Self-check.
I don't know.
Sorry, guys. I digress.
So, listen, self-check. Somebody get a medic in here. Hey, things look good.
But for real though, like if there's some other me walking around doing the same thing as me, and then I mean, in a mirror, I don't believe that. It's cool to think about, because what about the mirrors within the mirrors within the mirrors within the mirrors when you got a mirror sitting behind the mirror? Are those all dimensions? Think about that.
Oh, a fun house.
Yeah.
I stand in the one
that called my ceiling.
And so in fun houses, am I the only guy that stands in the one that makes me look all chesty, or is that just
I'm already chesty?
I like to stand in the one that makes me look long.
That's it. Rod's going to carnival jail because he's standing there with his dick out, so he looks longer.
He's not allowed in front of friggin' elementary schools anymore.
Yeah. All right. First of all, it's 100. It's 100 yards. Okay. So.
Okay. I gotta tell the story real quick though.
Oh,
Speaking of kids and being fucked up. So, talking to my dad this week. He tells me when he was 12, he used to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Columbus area, Hilliard. He's like an original Hilliardite, never left, lived on the same damn Avery Road that he's lived on his whole life. He used to ride at 12 years old in an ice cream truck and get out, him and his buddy, to beat the shit out of little kids and steal their money. He did that 5 days a week and made $3 a day doing that. The ice cream man would give them money. That's what they did. They just rode around here, beat the shit out of kids. Just like that was the '70s. Like that's us. I might have been the '60s, but like that's pretty freaking sweet. I want that job. I want to do that now.
It's a shakedown, motherfucker.
It has nothing to do what we were talking about, but I don't know why it reminded me when you guys were talking about that. I just
give me what you got.
My chest. Get it out of my chest.
So this is the truth telling portion of our show.
My dad has a full head of hair too. It's some bullshit.
By the way, some generational gaps. So my father is actually about 4 inches shorter than I am. I was blessed.
That's funny.
Blessed with my mother's height.
Thank Mama Steel for that.
Thank you, Mama Steel. Papa Steel hasn't chimed
That's
in.
Because
I figured
Papa Steel was one of
shot.
the original leprechauns. All right.
Who gave you the red hair?
My father. Yeah. Yeah. Thank goodness.
No hair.
Thank goodness for him. You know.
I got a little red tint in my beard every now and then without the gray. I got some English in me.
Rod likes to do this thing where he pretends he doesn't have red hair, when in fact,
dude, you're the whitest person I've ever seen in my life with that red hair. Like your eyebrows are red.
Me?
You talking to me?
Both of you. Yeah, Rod.
You son of a bitch. This is dirty blonde. All right, this too.
Dirty. Strawberry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There you go. Strawberry.
So supposedly
red,
there was a incident that took place at a hibachi grill where the grill master himself called out Rod for his ginger-like qualities, if you will.
You're so ginger.
You like ginger? No.
Yeah. Okay. So he's about to give the sauce out, and he asks Felicia. He goes, "Oh, do you want ginger?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, I'll take that." And he pours it, and he goes, "I see you like your ginger, huh?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Listen here, you son of a bitch. I'm on to you." Don't you laugh at
that. There have also been reported incidents where we went to a show in Vegas, and the comedian actually thought we were brothers. That actually happened as well. So. Whatever.
He did say I was the better looking brother, so I mean that helped.
I'm pretty sure you were hammered by then, so that sounds like a false statement.
I heard what I heard.
Yeah. All right. Let me ask another question for you guys here. Let me see. What if gravity was slowly disappearing?
I'm already 255 pounds. It happened over a 2-week period when I went from 230 to 255.
So let's say at some point we're going to be in zero gravity where we're floating. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Or do we hate this concept? Obviously, by then, as we're slowly discovering that gravity disappearing, we'd make the equipment to be whether tethered to the earth or however we figure it out. Just make heavier shit, I guess.
Well, there's no.
Me personally, I don't hate. Well, yeah, but the more mass you have, the heavier it is, you're still going to sit lower to the ground, right?
Oh, there's no gravity, then it doesn't matter.
Well, it's going to affect everything differently. Like if there's, I guess once we hit no gravity, mind your own fucking business, dude. You science piece of shit. Listen here, I don't care that you go on websites daily and on all these science forums and talk about this BS. When you're pausing from aliens for a second or dinosaurs.
The more angry he gets, the redder his hair.
I work from home. I can't help it. You're looking at my office.
By the way, nice office.
It's my wife's office back there, but this is my office.
I think I'm going to put this in my marrich contract.
This is also your wife's office, so I mean,
yeah, pretty much. It's all my wife's office.
What's the leasing agreement on that office space you got there?
HR has been called on me a few times.
Beautiful.
Harass is one word, not 2 words.
Steve, I think I have a lot to learn from you, my friend.
It could be dangerous though. We've been married 22 years this year. So
hey. So Rod and I are getting married this year. Rod, couple weeks now, 3 weeks now, right?
Yep.
Run.
Do you have? I was just gonna say, do you
have
have
bus
any
ticket
advice?
ready?
Nah,
Any
just
advice?
kidding.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Can you buy like a golden ticket, like a train ride that just never expires and you just hop on whenever you need to? Is that a thing or?
No. Just don't be an idiot.
No.
Very for two guys that run a podcast called Idiots on a Mic. We will take that into consideration.
Let me give you some suggestions. You're never right. Don't play softball on the day you come home from your first child being born, like when you're on your way home. I played softball that night. Don't do that.
Dawn, did you win?
Yeah, we were. It was
worth it.
We were good.
Yeah,
worth it.
Don't go golfing that same week when your dad drives down from Ohio down to Mississippi and takes you out golfing. Don't do that. Let's see.
Hang on. There's a notepad in here somewhere. Hang on.
Yeah.
Nah, just. I mean, honestly, you guys try to do everything as a team and like know that it's really like 80-20 team. So like use the 80-20 rule.
So this desk behind you, that's the 80%. Your 20% is what do you have? Just like a little stand with a tablet on it? Is that what you're operating on?
I got let's see if I can spin this around here.
Okay, here we go. Look at you!
Right
oh, hey!
I got my Alienware. Got the fish tank.
That. That's a hell of a setup you got there.
Sometimes I'll bring my.
Is CBD Brothers USA hiring? Is that where all this?
No, that's my real company I work for. That's the Nature's Bounty, or the Bountiful Company as we're called now. So.
All right, let me wrap this up with. Oh,
there you go.
Let me wrap this up with one question for you guys. We're sticking with the Spectral theme. We hit this pretty hard when we had Vegan Steve on. I want to double down on it with you. What if there are actually multiple souls in your body, but you're the most powerful one? So you have control over the body, and the voices you have in your head are just the weaker souls talking to you.
Well,
this is a good thing. This is a bad thing.
I mean, depends what type of porn you're like into that day. What voice that's talking about. No, for real though.
So you're gonna look at.
Yeah. No, for like honestly, I don't know. Like that, have you seen that show Doom Patrol on HBO with Jane?
I haven't watched it.
800 personalities in there, like, and they're all trying to like fight to get to the top.
So that's the spinoff of Titans. If you haven't watched Titans, they initiate Doom Patrol in the first few episodes of Titans, and then they take Doom Patrol and they make it their own series. I haven't watched it yet. I did watch Titans, which was fantastic, by the way. Just finished. They've only got 2 seasons so far. Just finished their second season. I'm torn. Is it good? Is Doom Patrol a good show?
It's pretty good. It's dark.
I got a lot of flights, so that like anytime I can accept.
Brendan Fraser as a robot. So like,
I'm in. That's Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, he's the robot, and he was like pretty much Ricky Bobby before that. So.
Yeah. They talk about how he was an ex-race car driver and was excellent, like top of his class, basically. And then he ends up in a horrible crash, and they end up saving his life by turning him into the robot, like transferring his conscious into the robot body. It's hard to tell with the voice because they morph it so much, but that's fantastic knowing that is Brendan Fraser, aka George of the Jungle, if you will. That's Brendan Fraser, correct?
Yep, the Mummy.
Ooh, that is an old.
And the Mummy, George of the Jungle.
I saw that one.
That's a callback right there. There's another one that should have been rated R, right? They teach them all the bad shit in society. That would have been fantastic. Cool. Let's make it a rated R. Or you know what? While we're on that same, Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen, where he has a kid. He has a kid who's in like a tribe. If they brought him from that tribe to New York City like they do in the movie, and he learned what real New York City was like, yeah, that's a fantastic horror movie there. The comedy value just spikes when you talk about something like that.
But that would have been canceled because it was a white kid they brought back to New York from the jungle. So they said it's cultural appropriation. Just saying, like, they come up with anything. Like,
so we've hammered on this a number of times. We've talked about how Dr. Seuss is getting canceled because there's racial undertones. Mr. Potato Head, which survived. Mr. Potato Head did survive. Was
Seinfeld
on the chopping block. Seinfeld was getting canceled. Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know about this.
Some of those, like some of the people, because there were some Jewish jokes in there or something. It made them feel uncomfortable.
Which Curb Your Enthusiasm on HBO Max is probably next in line if that's the case.
Considering like Seinfeld's Jewish, like I guess you're not even allowed to make fun of your own like culture or religion anymore. Like, I don't get it. So,
I mean, we just doubled, tripled, quadrupled down on ginger jokes there for about a solid 5 minutes, and here we are today. We're all alive. We're all talking about it. We're all laughing about it. Seems pretty okay, if you ask me. There's boundaries, obviously, with any sort of humor, but as long as you're not being an asshole and it's intended for a comedic value specifically and nothing else, then I feel like you have to add that JK thing at the end of every sentence that you say anymore, just so there's no hard feelings being taken. But and I think we'll reach a climax to where all this will kind of dive off, hopefully. But I think we have a long way to go still.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Well, let's wrap it up there for today. Steve, we're so thankful that you could come on with us. Seth, you know what? Before we chime in, Seth, thank you for chiming in. Nothing is off limits in comedy. You should be able to laugh at anything and everything.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. We certainly echo that sentiment. When we first started the show, we were very, very reserved early on. And we've kind of come unhinged a little bit. Now, obviously, we are within those boundaries, those social boundaries. However, we are firm believers in the same thing that Seth is preaching here now. Seth, I don't know what church you're starting, man, but I will see you there on Sunday so we could talk about what comedy is about and what it should be and what should be off limits. But again, Steve, we appreciate you coming on. We've been trying to make this happen for a little while. Ever since we got Vegan Steve on, we've been trying to get you both on. We're so happy to have you. I know the chemistry between the two Steves. Steve squared, the Steve paradox, if you will, is a phenomenal one, and I want to be able to feed off of that for what we're trying to accomplish in our show. We are a comedy podcast. We want to make sure that we're trying to bring laughter and entertainment to those people in their homes. And for those of you who are listening, for those of you who do listen, take this episode, whether it's on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, share it. Let's spread this. Let's keep this thing going. We're looking into new equipment. Rod and I are talking about some additional content that we might be able to bring you guys here in the next few weeks or so. I'm excited for it. It's going to be very off-the-cuff conversation just between Rod and I. We won't have guests for anything like that. It'll probably be it's going to be an audio-only version. So for those of you who do listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, we are available in audio-only versions, not just here on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube. Go check it out. If you're on the road a lot like me, it's nice to have that available. I can't have, I don't have Wi-Fi on the planes, so I pop this on. I'm a big Pat McAfee show listener. Pop it on so I can download it onto my phone, and I don't need Wi-Fi to listen to it. We are available on all those platforms. Make sure you're checking it out. Steve, as we wrap up, we like to allow our guests to shout out someone. So if there's anybody in particular you'd like to shout out, I know you kind of shouted out your wife a couple times here throughout the show. being the future CEO or future boss of CBD Brothers USA. Is there anybody else you'd like to shout out before we wrap it up?
Just let's have to say Marysville Rhino rugby team. Like, got the game coming up Saturday, or the match. Let's get it going. So, and Barley Hoppers.
And that's right. So we had Brian Harpster on. It's probably been, I think he was episode 30 or so. It's been a little while now. A month or two has gone by. But he is one of the sponsors for the Rhino Rugby. When we interviewed him, he was actually at the bar while we were interviewing him, so that was a lot of fun to do. Good friend of ours. We'll have to get him on again soon. But that's a big shout out for us is Barley Hopsters to go hand in hand with the Rhino Rugby that you're shouting out. Great dude, fantastic atmosphere there. And if you head over there on a Saturday, you're bound to run into a bunch of rugby guys drinking beer and eat pizza, baby. Rod, anybody you want to shout out before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good to go. Steve, we appreciate you guys. Just know we support you guys. Hey, we hope you guys take off. So keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
At the end of every show, we always tip a glass and we say to our guests, our friends, our family, everybody who listen, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.